everyone, it's Jodie Hill here from Thrive Law, and today I want to talk to you about the amazing campaign that's been started by Time to Change. It's called Time to Talk, and it's about destigmatising mental health and breaking down those difficult conversations into something where you can actually help somebody just by making some really small changes. So the statistics show that most people have suffered from mental health in their life, and in fact Time to Talk have quoted that 1 in 4 of us suffer at some point this year, but actually it's the way that those people who are suffering are treated that can actually be the most damaging. So what we want to do as part of this video and moving forward is really break down that stigma. So what I'm going to do is just talk about some of my top tips on how to start those conversations and also break down the stigma in your workplace. So, being a Yorkshire woman, a cup of tea for me is always something that can help to start a conversation. You're moving away from your computer or your phone, so go for a coffee with someone or grab a cup of tea and just ask someone how they are and actually be engaging and actively listen to what they're saying, as opposed to simply just saying, "How are you? Yes, I'm fine," which kind of takes me on to my next tip. So often, especially British people, we say automatically, "How are you? Yes, I'm fine," even when we're not fine. So I think it's really important to just ask again and say, "Are you okay?" Or "How was your weekend?" Or "How was that situation?" Just be a little bit more engaging than simply the automated responses, so it actually sounds like you care. The other thing that I always recommend to my staff, but also practice what I preach, is to go for a walk. So take time away from your desk. You can either do this on your own so that you can clear your head, put your phone in your pocket and just be mindful for even 10-15 minutes. The difference is amazing. And if you want to talk to a colleague, again, going for a walk can be really helpful because you're not in the office, so they might feel a bit more comfortable. They're also not sat opposite you, so they might feel as though they can have a conversation which is slightly easier for them and less uncomfortable because you're walking alongside them. So I'd suggest going for a walk if the cup of tea thing doesn't work, but also just for your own mental health, really helpful to just clear the mind, recharge for the afternoon, and just getting some fresh air and a little bit of exercise always helps. The other thing I would say is don't try and give advice. So many people are really scared to talk about mental health because they're like, "Oh, we don't know what to say," but actually it's just about actively listening. You don't have to give advice. You don't have to sit there and tell them how to run their life or actually anything. The whole point is to actively listen. So what I mean by that is actually listen to what they're saying and wait for them to finish what they're saying, and then repeat some of what they've said back to them so they hear that you've heard what they're saying. You don't actually have to give any advice. You could suggest things like self-care. Like one of the things I always suggest is try to meditate, even if it's just a few minutes a day. One of the things I use is an app. So again, like little tips like that from a self-care perspective I think are okay, but don't go down the road of trying to diagnose or tell them what therapy or medication would work, because it's simply not okay for people who are medically trained to do that, and it could actually have more of a damaging effect than a helpful effect. So that's pretty much it. The last thing I would say is that you shouldn't treat anybody any differently just because they have a mental health condition. So don't let it define that person because they have a mental health condition. Don't tiptoe around them or not invite them to events, that kind of thing. Most people with a mental health problem are absolutely fine in social situations subject to their symptoms, and actually let them have the choice to be involved or not be involved. Don't define somebody by virtue of the fact they simply have a mental health condition, because actually most of us have or will have suffered from our mental ill health at some point in our lives. I hope that the video is really helpful for you. What I'm going to do is put some resources that I find really helpful in the description. Please follow us on social media. It's Thrive_Law to follow us, to keep up to date with events and also tips. We post a lot of information around supporting employees at work, but also for self-care. So please comment below if you found this video helpful, but also please do get in touch and let me know what you want me to talk about in the next video, whether that's related relating to law, mental health, anything that you want me to talk about, do let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.